What's going on, traders? Want to do a recap of the S&P 500 for you guys today, Thursday, February 9th. Blood in the streets today in the markets. We closed a bit lower, about 0.87%. Final print being 407.09. Now, we have been talking about a pullback being necessary in the markets. We were anticipating a bit of a cool down. Of course, we had plans for the up and downside, but I was kind of really stressing that we needed to see a bit of a pullback before we could have the potential to move any higher. We still have these overbought readings here in the MoMA, but they were showing us and giving us that clue that we could see some downside. And as you can see today, finally, it is cooling off a little bit more, starting to slope down, a lot more room to go. And I do think that we could see potentially some more downside before making a push higher. I don't think that the bull run is necessarily over yet. We're still holding over some key levels, and of course this uptrend and the 20. But we did close below the 9 here today. So the daily 9 sitting at 408.98. So that's something that we want to watch out for. We could spring back over it tomorrow. So that's definitely a scenario. We could come and back test it and reject. So those are two things that definitely could happen. Before we get into today's price action and predictions, what might happen tomorrow, did want to note VIX here quickly. We had mentioned VIX and that $20 level. We had this descending wedge forming on VIX, and now we did close over that 20. I think final print here, 2071, breaking over the downtrend. So that is definitely interesting, something worth noting. Doesn't mean we can't pull back and come under. But it's something I wanted to point out since we were talking about it in the last video. We could even come up and try out this 2175 or so. So that's another area I'll be watching. But this is definitely an interesting development and something we want to keep an eye on, that $20 level as a potential gauge for how bullish or bearish the markets might be. So yeah, let's get into today's price action. Pretty clean trend day. Let's move in here. Pretty clean trend day overall. You had multiple opportunities to get short. You can see here we had a little break over the 920, but you can still have shorted in this area if you wanted to. We had that liquidity up here. We were talking about 415, and this also where we opened was pretty much right back at yesterday's highs when we saw this sell reaction as well. So we knew the sell side liquidity was there. We were talking about it yesterday. And then, if you didn't want to take this, lower high here, and I got short, I believe it was either on, I think it was this candle or it was this one. We took some puts and went short on ES. Let me just look really quickly on what time. Yeah, it was the 10:45. So we did end up getting short here on some Fort 10 puts and closed them out for about 114%. Didn't get the full move down, unfortunately, but you're never going to get that all the time. As long as we get a piece of the pie, that is fine. But multiple chances to get back in. I was actually looking for another short here, but I wasn't able to execute. Another nice push right into the 9 at 130 and brought us down lower. Now, as far as the short side, now I think on Tuesday or Monday even, we started talking about this 407.50 and 406.50 as a potential downside target. And today, those targets were hit, were achieved. So if you had been paying attention, had those levels marked off as a potential target, you got paid today on the short side. Congratulations on that. So yeah, pretty clean movement. Like I said, nice trend day. And now, we broke below and came back up, and now we're kind of consolidating in this area. As far as tomorrow is concerned, now that this area has been filled, I would think that we are going to see some type of retracement. This 410 again has a lot of liquidity, 410.35. VOPC here on the 15. Let's take a look at the hourly just to see where it is. Okay, about the same, 410.20. We are outside of value here on the hourly, so we could come back if we certainly get over this 408.85. I would be leaning towards that test up to the 410 area, 410.25. And then if they're lucky, maybe we could come in and retest the hourly 20 here, 410.85. But the hourly certainly getting a little bit into that oversold area. A 4-hour, I believe, has plenty more room down. Yep. But we were also talking about that this value area high here, and that if it broke, that we would see some more selling pressure, and we did. So now we're kind of just hanging out. I was mentioning these Wednesday highs as an area where we could come into. We did a little fake break below, and now we're just kind of hanging out in this zone. And what's going to happen tomorrow is yet to be seen. However, we are back into the value zone here on the 4-hour. That's good. The hourly, like I said, we're out of that value area, so some type of retracement into this zone would be likely. How far up we go, I'm not 100% sure. Potential scenarios though is we could come in, retest these lows from yesterday, depending on when you're watching this, maybe the day before that. But so yeah, I mean, and that would line up with the VOPC here. Yesterday's lows, yes, we had a couple of breaks lower, but this general zone, would be likely to be retested. And then we'll have to see if the bulls can break over. We can expect a little bit further upside, maybe again to that 20. But if they can't, then expect more downside. I'd be interested in still taking a potential reversal trade. We could see a pop in the morning, come up into this zone, and then we fade back down lower. That is another scenario as well, another higher, lower high. If we start to really get down and hold under that 406.50, I would be of the opinion that we're probably going to come in for 405. And if we test that 405 pivot and we do end up breaking it, I probably would be looking for around the 23 here on the fib, 401.80. If that breaks, we're going to 400 in my opinion, if we confirm under that. So that's definitely something we want to watch out for. I want to go back to the daily though really quick, as far as that upper trend line, and you can see it here. This area here is the major downtrend line that everybody was watching, that we would definitely want to pay attention to for potential a buy opportunity, and that's around 397. Big area, 397.25. There's a lot of demand in here, and then 394. But of course, it depends on when we get there. It could be a little bit lower as we move on, but we'll keep you updated. However, the uptrend that we have established recently is sitting right here. So tomorrow, if we do get a push up higher, and then a higher low, and then we short, probably try to get some out here around that downtrend. But if this downtrend breaks, and we'll come back into the daily in a minute. But if this downtrend breaks that we have built up over the last month of January, watch out below, because then again I would be pretty confident in saying that we would likely see a 400 test. And a lot of times, of course, those whole numbers, they act as magnets as well. And it's a huge level. A lot of traders are watching, of course. So price likely, if we still see that selling pressure, would be drawn to that area. But let's just take a quick look at the daily. And so here, So it's also, we want to watch that 404.21, that whole area. We'll just call it 404.20 to 404. If that breaks, then look out for that 400. So that would be my guess as far as that's concerned. But tomorrow, it's Friday, we could see a chop day. We did have quite a move to the downside. I mean, it wasn't a catastrophic sell by any stretch of the imagination, but a nice healthy pullback. But let's watch for possible reactions off this trend line, or if a break, look out below. Bears are going to have some more feasting to do. I would think maybe tomorrow also, if I was just to throw it out there, again, maybe that 410.50, that would give us on the daily candle about a 50% retracement, coming back in to back test that 410. Very important. We've gone over that level in the videos, is that double top zone that we were able to break over. So that's important. And if we back test it, 50% retracement, and then we start to head lower. If in fact we break that 400, I would be looking for 398, 398.50, and then again around that 397 area. So that's kind of what I'm watching. We're gonna see what we get tomorrow, again with such a nice trend day. Today I'm not sure if we could be setting up for just more chop tomorrow and have the markets digest this move. So again, we could see a fake rally to the upside, a rally to the downside, fake break again, and then we come back up and the markets end up closing either green a quarter or red a quarter, 0.25. So we just end up with something like that. So either way, it could still be tradable as long as we have a plan and we stick to our rules and stick to our sizing. If you had a great week, maybe you want to step back on your sizing on Friday. Be careful on 0 days, of course, if you play them. And yeah, just don't end your Friday on a there's nothing worse than ending a Friday on a red day. So if you can get a nice move early and get your profits, get out and go enjoy the rest of your day, or do whatever you need to do. But the name of the game is not over trading and following your rules and your trading plan. So all right, guys, gave you what I think. I hope you're able to use it. I wish you the best of luck and closing out the week strong. Big weekend too. We got UFC and Super Bowl, so should be a fun one. All right, guys, have a good one. Take care.